Hi everybody, it's Miss Elkins. I'm here with your Monday morning notes on graphing on the coordinate plane. If you don't have these notes, or if you're going to get them later on this week, you're welcome to just wait and watch this video later. If you don't plan to get a paper copy, then I suggest you just listen to this, get a piece of paper maybe, follow along as well as you can, write down the things that you think are important, maybe even take screenshots of the notes for yourself. All right, so we're talking about graphing on the coordinate plane. A coordinate plane is formed by the intersection of a horizontal number line and a vertical number line. The number lines intersect at the origin and separate the coordinate planes into four regions called quadrants. Two important words right there. The origin is where those two number lines intersect, and each of the four pieces is called a quadrant. Okay, so down here underneath you'll see some very important vocabulary words. The origin is the point 0, 0, the x-axis, the y-axis, the quadrants, the ordered pairs, the x-coordinates, and the y-coordinates. We're going to use those words to fill in the blanks below. But first I want to talk about the quadrants. The quadrants are always labeled, or should always be labeled, with Roman numerals. The Roman numerals are 1 for coordinate 1. That's the area where the graph is all positive, and you've probably seen that type of graph before. Then it goes counterclockwise to 2. Here, that's where the x-coordinates are negative and the y-coordinates are positive. And then below that is 3. That is where both the x and y coordinates are negative. And then finally quadrant 4 here, and that is where the x coordinates are positive and the y coordinates are negative. All right, we'll look at that again some more, so don't feel like you have to know that all right this minute. Okay, so let's fill in the blanks. The blank corresponds to a number on the x-axis. That, my friends, is the x coordinate. Okay. The horizontal line is called the x-axis. The point where the number lines intersect is called the origin. And blank is a pair of numbers used to locate a point on the coordinate plane. The word that fits in this blank is an ordered pair. Okay. The vertical number line is called the y-axis. The y-coordinate corresponds to a number on the y-axis. The four regions of the coordinate plane are called quadrants. Okay, hopefully you've watched the Math Antics video about this, so this isn't all new information to you. But those are things you're going to need to know for this unit. Okay, so let's look at the second page of our notes if you have them. It says plot and label the ordered pairs on the coordinate plane. A, 3, 4. All right, every ordered pair is written with the x-coordinate first and the y-coordinate second, every single time. So the way that you plot the points is you start at the origin always, in the middle of the number line, of both number lines actually, and you move to the first number, the x-coordinate, on the x-axis. So here's the x-axis, and I'm going to find the number 3 on the x-axis. So I'll move to number 3. But I'm not plotting my point there. I'm just finding that there. Okay. The second coordinate is on the y-axis. Here's the y-axis, and I'm going to go to that point on the y-axis. Where those two things intersect, here, 4, 1, 3, that would be point A. Okay, I do not need those lines there because I'm not plotting lines. This is how you plot a point on the coordinate pair. You just, wherever the number 4 and the number 3 intersect is where your dot will be. And the dot always goes in the center unless it's a fractional part. And we haven't talked about fractions yet, but there could be fractions in between on the number lines. Okay, let's plot point B. We'll start again at the origin, and we'll move to -3 this time on the x, and then we'll move to -4 on the y. As you can see, here's -3 and here's -4, and where those two things intersect, that's where my point goes. Okay, I'm going to erase that because that's not how we plot points. And you always, always, always label your point. If they don't give you a letter to label the point, you label it with the ordered pair. So if this wasn't A, I would label it 3, 4. And there needs to be parentheses always around your ordered pairs. That's just how we do it. Okay? Now let's plot C, -5, +5. So I go to -5, and even if there aren't numbers, you can count the lines, -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I go up to +5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And where those two things intersect, that is point C. Okay? Oh, now we're plotting the origin. The point 0, 0 is at the origin. So we plot that point right here. And of course, we still have to label it. Every time you plot a point, it has to have a label. Now we're going to plot the point 5, 2. And again, on the x-axis, we're going to go to +5. And on the y-axis, we're going to go to +2. And the point E, 5, -2, is right there. A lot of people get the x coordinate and the y coordinate mixed up. If you do that, you're going to have your point in the totally wrong place. It has to be x first and y second. And then finally, well, let's plot point F, +5, -4. Again, we go to +5 on the number line, the x number line, and we go to -4 on the y number line. There is the point F, 5, -4. Okay? Which ordered pair represents the origin? That would be the ordered pair 0, 0, always. That's always the origin because it's where the two number lines intersect at their middle points. Okay. Now, it's important that you can be able to tell which quadrant something is in. And remember, these quadrants are, I'll name it on the outside so I don't mess up the points. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Okay? So, name the quadrant in which each of the points lie. If the point does not lie in a quadrant, because it could be on one of the lines, specify which axis the point lies on, or it could be at the origin where you would just say it's at the origin, because it's not in a quadrant if it's on a line, and it's not in a quadrant if it's the origin. So the point 3, 5 would be here in the positive part of the graph, which is quadrant 1. When you have two positive numbers as your x and y, it'll always be in quadrant 1. The point -6, +8 will be in quadrant 2 because it's going to be backwards on the x and up on the y. So that would be in quadrant 2. The point 0.07, let's look up here at that. Let's point 0.07, that's at 0 on the x-axis, but it's at 7, which would be up here off of the graph, on the y-axis, that point would actually be located directly on the y-axis because you're not moving left or right away from the x-axis to plot that. And the plot 4.5, -2 would be here somewhere in the quadrant 4. So anytime you have a positive negative, it's going to be in quadrant 4. Notice I'm using Roman numerals and not numbers. You always use Roman numerals when you're talking about quadrants. The point -1, 0, if you look here, oh, that would be right there. And we would say that that point is on the x-axis because it's not in a quadrant. You can't say it's in both, so it's on the line. And then the point -1, -3 would actually be here. -1, -3 would be in quadrant 3. If it's a negative, both the x and the y are negative, it's always going to be in quadrant 3. Okay. On the last page of our notes says label the ordered pairs of numbers that corresponds with each letter from the grid below. So let's look first at point A. Point A is on the negative, -1, -2, -3, -4. And then it's in the positive all the way up there. Oh, sorry, -4. And then it's on the positive here on +8. So the coordinates of point A are at parentheses -4, x coordinate goes first, y coordinate goes second, 8. Okay. Coordinate B, or point B, is there at 1, 2, so it's at +2, and then it's all the way up at +4. So the coordinates of B are +2, comma, +4. Always put parentheses around your ordered pairs, otherwise it's just two numbers with a comma in front of them. It's not how we write ordered pairs. All right, C is back here on negative on the x. It looks like it's -8. Here, let's count just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so that's at -8. And then on the y coordinate, it looks like it's at 3. So that's -8, +3. -8, +3. Then we have point D. Point D, and again, if you can't see the numbers, you can always count. Point D is right here. -1, -2, -3, -4. So it's at -4 on the x. And then -1, -2, -3, -4. Oh, it's also at -4 on the y. So the coordinates of D are -4, -4. Always x first and then y. And then finally, point E. Point E on the x-axis is at +5. And on the y-axis, it's at -7. So we write +5, -7 for that point. So we'll practice this for a couple of days. Get familiar with it. If you are confused, you're certainly welcome to go look up some videos on YouTube. I'm sorry I'm not there to help you. I wish you were here in class. That would make it all so much easier for all of us. But we'll see you again soon. Have a great day. Bye.